How's it, guys? Welcome back to another video. Super action packed this time. I'm pretty sure I get like 3 PBs in this video alone, so yeah, super action packed. I'm sorry for the delay in videos. My goal is to try and put a video out every 2 to 3 weeks, and if I wanted to, I definitely could put a video out every once a week or maybe even a couple days from just 1 or 2 of my dive sessions, but I'd rather just make it a video full of action and every clip is me shooting a fish than having to bore you guys out with me just going around and taking drops, not really seeing anything. So that's why it takes a little longer for me to put out these videos, but hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And yeah, it's gonna be a super sick video. So in this dive session, as you guys saw in the beginning, I ended up getting my personal best uku, a moo, a moana collie, and then the rest of the fish are my dive buddies. So we swam out to this spot. You can tell it's a little bit murky and cloudy, but I was able to spot this moo pile from the surface, so I hit the bottom, and they're pretty curious. They're coming in. So I line up on these two, but I just wasn't really too comfortable with the shots, and I saw a couple moo in the pile that were pushing a lot bigger size than these ones that I was aiming at. So I was just waiting for a bigger one or just a better opportunity, and they were pretty tame, but they weren't like coming right up to me, and I wasn't really hiding my eyes because it was my first drop and I wasn't really in moo mode. I was kind of just looking around, and so I swing my gun to the other side of this coral head thing, and then the moo are coming back in. They're being pretty curious, so I start getting behind this, scratching, grunting, hiding my eyes a little bit more now that I'm getting kind of to the end of my breath hold. And yeah, just waiting for these moo to come in. Yeah, they're coming in, and I get ready. I take a lunge on this one, and it starts to swim away, so I take a quick shot right here, and I actually hit 2 moo in one shot. Of course, both of the moo rip off. I thought I had at least one of them pretty good shot, but I guess I just hit really low or really high, or just, I don't even really know what happened. I just didn't hit any of them good, but it was okay. So came up to the surface, reloaded my gun, and this is pretty much the same exact spot. The moo pile stuck around, and you know, they're not coming in as close as they were before, but it's kind of reasonable because I just shot 2 of them and scared the school, but they're still coming in. So right here, I put my head in the sand and just start dusting and grunting and just waiting for them to come in, being really patient. This isn't crazy deep. This is probably around 40 feet, so my bottom time is pretty good on these shallower drops. So yeah, I'm just waiting right here, you know, dusting, grunting, hiding my eyes, just waiting for them to make an approach to me. So right here, I slowly put my head up. You can see the small ones are in range, and then look out there, and there's the bigger ones, which is the ones I want. So I'm just waiting. Line up right here, gives me a nice broadside shot, and I take it. And I hit this nice move for my first fish of the day. So me and my buddy just kept drifting along, and we were just taking blind drops, and I ended up taking this drop on this reef, and you can see there's a lot of life around, and instantly I spot that nice sized collie right behind me, but I'm kind of saving him for the end of my drop because I knew that maybe there'd be something better around out in the flats. This spot's notorious for big ukus coming in, big vekenonos, so just keeping my options open right now. I spot this nice omilu right here, but I was more focused on the collie than anything. And for some reason, he's just sitting right behind me. He keeps looking like he's gonna come in front of me, but he never ends up doing it. So just assuming that he's gonna come in front of me this entire dive, so I'm not making the effort to turn around, because this is a deeper dive. It's probably around 70 feet. Nothing crazy, but you definitely don't want to burn a lot of energy down there. And the collie's just hanging out behind me this entire drop. So I swing my gun around, and right when I think he's going to give me a shot, he starts swimming away. So I'm just like, wow. I had a shot right there, but I didn't feel too comfortable, so I just waited for him to come back. And sure enough, he comes right back. He comes really close to the end of my gun. I just wait. And I had to fire from the hip right here, so I ended up hitting him in the guts, but I was able to secure him pretty well. I was able to go down and recover him, bring him up to the surface, and land this nice moana collie. So like I said, we just kept drifting, and I ended up finding this nice pinnacle. So I swam to the end of it, about 70 feet of water, 75 feet, same depth. And yeah, I just took a drop to the very bottom to see what's around. Blind drop, didn't see any fish from the surface. And instantly as I hit the bottom, I see there's a lot of life. There's already fish coming in, and you know, there's some big vekenonos in front of me. Look at this giant school of them. And I see that nice uku out there at the top of those rocks. But yeah, I was just more focused on the uku than anything. That's why I didn't take any of these veke nonos or anything like that. But I had my options open still. And I think the uku's going to come in right here, but he's being pretty smart. And he's just keeping his distance. This is a pretty long drop, about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. One of my longest drops. So, yeah, I'm just waiting around. The veke nonos are coming right up to me. And I'm just waiting for an opportunity on this uku, though. He's just swimming in and out of my range. And you can see how beautiful it is down here. There's these giant eagle rays on the top of the water. This grasslands right out to my right. Probably have some yellow papapios and stuff. And then these big veke nonos, opelu collies, just all kinds of fish down here. And this uku's still keeping his distance. But I'm still trying to go for him. I told myself I'm not coming up without taking this uku. So I'm trying to be really focused on him. And I kind of decided that the uku wasn't going to come in right here. So I went to go take a veke nono. And all the big ones just started swimming away. So the uku starts coming right back to me. He's coming in a little bit, but still not all the way. He comes in right here. He does this little turn. So I line up and take a super far shot. Hit him kind of high, but it was a holding shot. And he actually almost spooled me right here. He took out a crazy amount of reel line. But I was able to land him. Got him to the surface. Super stoked to land my biggest uku. This thing came in at 8 pounds. I know it's not considered a monster by any means, but I don't really get to find too big of ukus with the spots that I dive, so it's pretty rare for me to see one this size. And I'm just stoked to be able to have landed it. So after I shot that uku, the conditions got really rough. There's a lot of wind and a lot of current, so we ended up heading in. This is another spot, probably about a couple days later on the other side of the island. You can see the water's a lot more clear. But, yeah, I'm in around 50 to 70 feet right here, taking a drop. I've seen a nice moo pile, and I'm just waiting for them to come in. And you can see they're right in front of me. They're kind of making their way in, so I'm just trying to hide my eyes, be as calm as possible. This spot doesn't have as much life as the other spot, but there's still a good amount of action. It's mostly just really nice sized moo. So you can see this moo's coming right in. I line up, take a shot, and I hit him right through the eyes, and he actually ripped open his face right here, and he was super disoriented, as you can see. And he just swims right away, and I'm trying to signal to my dive partner to shoot it, and go down and give me a backup shot because he just went in that hole. But my partner didn't end up seeing it from the surface because it was kind of at that depth range where you can kind of see the structure, but you can't really make out the fish, so he didn't see it. And he went down and tried to shoot it, but he couldn't find it, so he gave me his gun. Alright, so he gives me his gun in this next clip, and as I'm breathing up for my drop, I see a white tip, probably around a 6 or 7 footer, and swimming behind it, I see this giant olua. And I go down, dive bomb technique, trying to be as slow and as stealthy as possible. You can see this thing's just cruising. I don't even think he knew that I was there. And right here, take a shot right above him. I was aiming for the stone shot, but I ended up hitting a little behind it, probably like 3 or 4 inches behind the head. And he just starts going crazy. You can see all my partners just seen that. They're all going down to help me. And I try and adjust the gun and loosen the drag a little bit because he was pulling me down. And as you can see in this next clip, I clipped to the buoy to the gun because he was just spooling the reel. He was going crazy. But he fought us for around 20 minutes, and he actually pulled us out to about 100 feet of water, which was insane. And I was able to manage to pull him off the bottom, and my partner went down to get a backup shot, but he actually missed the backup shot. So I took my gun back from him, reloaded my gun, went down, and you can see this fish is just going crazy. And he gives me a little turn right here. I'm just not confident with the shot. I really wanted to make sure I hit him good, but he turns right here, so I take a shot. And boom, hit him right in the gill plate. He started bleeding a lot. He pulled him to the surface, and yeah, we ended up landing this fish. It was sick. Everybody was stoked. After we got the fish to the surface, he still had a lot of fight left in him, so I'm just trying to stabilize him, and my buddy lets me know that he's going to go down and stab him with a knife, so I grab the line from him, and I just try and hold him in the water column just so he doesn't give my buddy a hard time, and so nobody gets tangled up on this line that we have. And yeah, just holding him up, buddy goes down, stabs him right in the head, pretty much immobilizes him, and yeah, it was pretty sick. It's my biggest ulua, my biggest fish yet. 59-pounder later, we would find out. And yeah, I ended up giving a bunch of the meat of this fish, like the slabs, to my buddy that you see, and then a couple of other people. And to top it off, on our way in, we see a nice school of kahalas, and my buddy was able to land his biggest fish, 16-pound kahala. Yeah, it was a pretty sick day. So the next day, we came out to the same exact spot, but we weren't looking for any trophies. We were just coming back to clean up the reef and just do our part after taking such a nice fish. And yeah, we just swam out to some deeper depths, found some roys, found some invasives, and I see these 2 roys down here, and I'm just waiting for one to give me an opportunity. Got the 1 band loaded so I don't blast my shaft into the reef. And yeah, this spot we ended up doing a longer drift than last time, so we drifted about 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles, and we ended up finding some pretty sick reef on the way. So right here you can see these 2 roys. I'm trying to pick out the bigger one of the 2, and I line up right here, but I just really didn't want to get my shaft blasted. Even though I had 1 band loaded, these roy just go straight into holes when you shoot them, and it's really hard to get them out on 1 drop. So he gives me an opportunity right here, and he spooks off as soon as I was about to take the shot. So I'm just waiting, still have a pretty good amount of bottom time, and the bigger one pops out, so I take the shot, and how's that? Rolled him over. That was pretty sick. It was actually a really big roy. I think it might have been my biggest, probably around 5 or 6 pounds. So we just kept drifting after I shot that roy. We picked up a couple more, but I didn't get them on film. And this is the exact same like area. We didn't go any farther in, but the water just kept getting way shallower. And keep in mind, this is like almost 2 miles from shore, so it was just insanely shallow, but there was a lot of life because I guarantee not that many people come out this far to go dive 15 feet. But we've seen these moo piles, and my buddy was able to shoot this big moo, probably like a 4-pounder out of this pile, and I had no confidence, honestly. I just went down and hid my eyes, and usually once you shoot a moo out of the pile, you do not get a second chance on them or even another shot. But I was still trying. I hid my eyes, super shallow water, and yeah, just waiting, dusting, grunting, scratching the reef a little bit. And I put my head up right here, and you can see the piles coming in range. So I slowly swing my gun, and I do this little lunge right here and line up, and boom, nice stone shot. Look at how he rolled it over. He landed facing straight vertically up, which is pretty funny. And yeah, I got this nice moo, and then here's me and my buddy comparing our moos. Pretty stoked. Yeah.
Oh, good shit, bro. Good shit.
Alright, so different day, different dive session. Couple weeks before you guys saw the olua and the uku and stuff. But this is farther up the side of the island, more east. And yeah, you can see there's these big, beautiful boulder structures. I took a blind drop at around 80 feet right here, just to see what's around. And it's hard to see on camera, but I actually saw a moo on my way down and a couple of other fish, and I was considering the moo because I had nothing at this point. But I was still keeping my options open, so I hit the bottom, find a nice comfy spot to land. And yeah, just looking around. There's a pretty good amount of life in this spot, nothing crazy. No ukus around, nothing like that, but there's definitely some fish. So you can see there's this omilu right here, and it catches my attention. It's pretty good size, nice eating size. So I whip around, and I see these giant moana collies coming in, and you'll see right here, one of them is just the biggest collie I've ever seen in my life, just absolutely massive. And both of these collies are good shooter size, but that one that I'm lining up on is just giant. So I take this shot, and I actually hit him through like the side of his gills, and it came out the mouth. And with so much strength on this big fish, he took my shaft straight into this cave at like 80 feet. So I had to just let go of my gun and leave it in the water column and come back down for another drop. And yeah, I was able to recover this fish, get him to the surface, and it's my biggest moana collie. 4.7 pounds he came out to. And I wish this video did it justice. This thing was just absolutely massive. It looks so small on camera, it's insane, but this thing was huge. It was like unreal. I was tripping out. Well, after I shot that collie, we just kept swimming down the coastline. We weren't seeing too much trophy fish or anything like that, so I decided to break out the 3-prong and look for some roys. So right here, hit the bottom again, probably around 60 to 70. We found this big pinnacle, so I dropped to the side of the wall. And you can see there's a lot of life around, just making sure there's no omilus or anything, because on this coast, an omilu's definitely 3-prongable, even moves at times. So I'm just looking around, making sure there's nothing else that I want to shoot. But I whip my head around, and I can see that roy. He's pretty far from me. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but you'll see this next turnaround. And he's hiding in this little crack behind me. These 3 rocks right there. You can see his head kind of popping out. And the game with roy is you have to crawl to them. They're never going to come to you. You can maybe hide your entire body and they'll come a little bit closer, but for the most part, unless you land right on top of them, they're not going to come to you. So I'm just doing a nice aguado technique, not moving my fins or anything like that, just pulling myself. And every time I pull, I give about a 5-second pause to let this fish just resituate. And right here I find my window of opportunity, so I take a little lunge and bruh, how's this? Just almost bends my 3-prong. As I shoot it, my prawns didn't go all the way through, but I was able to get him, and yeah, nice little Roy. Alright, so you guys know it, different day, different side of the island. Threw my throw flasher here, and uku came in. My buddy ended up taking a shot on it, but he missed. So I hit the bottom right after he took the shot just to see what was around, hoping maybe that nice uku would come back in, but he never ended up showing himself. So right here, just grab my flasher, still looking around, hoping some other fish come around. You can see the structure is a lot different on this side, more flat. I kind of like this structure a lot. But yeah, I'm just looking around, and I turn my head right here, and you can see there's this nice papio with a bunch of vec and onos coming in. But they're behind me, so I'm just waiting for them to come around me. And I'm trying to pick out the one that I think is going to be the biggest. So he's coming in, they're coming in. Looks like 3 vec and onos and a nice little papio. And yeah, I'm just waiting for them to come in front of me. And they do, so I look at the biggest one, the one that's swimming in front, and line up, and boom, and a nice stone shot, rolled him over. Yeah, nice vec and ono. You can see how beautiful the colors are in this fish. They're bright red, and sometimes they have little stripes on them. So I took another drop, and pretty much this entire day was just me taking blind drops. You couldn't really see from the surface, it's an open ground, so it's not like you can just see like the big fish pile circling around the rock or the pinnacle. They're kind of just in the flats, and you have to call them in. So take a drop right here, just looking around, hopefully looking for some ukus. This is really good uku structure, a lot of flats, and yeah, just looking around. It's decently deep water, you know, in that 70-foot range. That's kind of the range I like to stay when I'm diving. And yeah, I'm just looking around, and I look off to my right here, and I see this nice moana collie coming in. It's kind of hard to see right now, but he starts making an approach. I start swinging my gun in a position and getting ready for him. Just checking around, make sure there's nothing better before I fully commit to him. But yeah, he starts coming right in, charging me, so yep, line up right here, and boom, take a nice shot. Hit him in like the mid to gill plate body kind.
There's a big fucking spoolable caliber.
So we kept swimming out, and we found this big rock, and this is a lot deeper. This is around 85 to 90 feet where I'm gonna land. So you can see that ledge to my right where it drops off. That's probably in that 100 to 105 range, and past that there's another ledge that probably drops off to like 130. But where I'm landing is around 85 feet. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to land on that side of the ledge, the deeper side, because I saw some moves over there. But I saw an uku from the surface, not a big one, but it was an uku. So I took a drop, and yeah, I'm just looking around. You can see it's a lot darker down here at the deeper depth. Nothing crazy. I know some of you guys dive like hundreds of feet, but yeah, pretty deep for me. So I'm looking around, and I see this uku out in the distance. I throw a couple grunts out, and he's coming right in. So I readjust myself. I kind of landed in an awkward spot, so I had to crawl down a little bit and just lay down and get nice and comfy over here. And he just starts coming right in, pretty curious at this depth. So I line up my gun, and yeah, I take a little lunge and take a shot, and I actually get muzzle wrapped right here. And this gun today was giving me a lot of problems, and this is one of the most dangerous situations you can get yourself into, because if your reel malfunctions or your shooting line gets caught, if it's a really big fish, it can really pull you down, and it can be really hard, and you might have to let go of your gun. But yeah, I was able to land this uku. Not a big one, but for my standards, it's pretty good eating size, and there wasn't too much fish around, so pretty stoked on this thing. Alright, so this drop was just pure heartbreak right here. I noticed a nice size uku, probably in the 6 to 7 pound range. So I hit the bottom, just looking around, keep my head on a swivel, trying to find where this fish is going to be at, trying to call him in, grunting. And yeah, just looking around for him. Takes a while for him to come in right here. I cut this drop down. This is a pretty long drop, probably around 215. But I start coming up right here, and boom, there's the uku. So I drop back down, still had a little bit more air left. And he's coming in hot, but I told myself I wasn't going to try and push myself too hard and stay down too long. So he only gives me around one nice pass where I just take the lunge. So he's coming in right here, so I take a fat lunge on him, take a super far shot, but I actually hit him mid-body, pretty good shot, but my flopper just didn't malfunction and just came right off, and I'm super bummed to lose that fish, but it is what it is. Thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. It's the last clip, me shooting this nice moana collie. I just wanted to say, if you made it this far, thank you very much. Like and subscribe, please, really helps me out. And if you guys have any requests on fish you want me to shoot, any different species you guys want to see, I'm more than happy to shoot them. I'm going to start trying to push out some more content for you guys very soon. This might be some catch and cook stuff. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching to the end. Have a good one. Mahalo.